part of modern-day culture and are growing in popularity every year. However, we need to be mindful of how our body art affects our climate, as the way common pigments are produced actually have an impact on the Earth's greenhouse gases. We all know there's a culture surrounding tattoos, and that getting a tattoo can affect the way others view you. But apart from a personal impact, can tattoos have a larger impact on the climate and the Earth overall? To answer this question, let's take a closer look at the components of tattoos that make them so permanent, the ink itself. Tattoo ink is comprised of a colorant and a carrier. The carrier holds and transports the colorant to your skin. Common carriers within tattoos are water, witch hazel, and isopropyl alcohol. The colorant portion of tattoo ink has been made of many things throughout history. These colorants are pigments that can provide color without reacting to the skin and are held in place by physical or intermolecular forces. Common pigments throughout history have come from mineral or geological sources that have the appropriate desired color. One such common pigment, especially for black ink, is carbon, used to give the tattoos a carbon black appearance. Not only black tattoos are limited to this pigment composition, however, as over 80% of the colorants used today are carbon-based, according to the ACS Student Member Magazine. When thinking about the amount of tattoos that exist all around the world, that's a lot of carbon walking around. However, not all carbon is toxic for the environment. What is the form of carbon in tattoo ink, and why does it have anything to do with the climate? In the production of tattoo ink with carbon in it, the carbon is transformed into a form that can merge with the carrier through incomplete combustion of fossil fuels to obtain soot. This soot, a fine dark powder containing polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, is the form of carbon known as carbon black, which produces the pigmentation used in so many tattoos. The process of burning to produce carbon black also produces the chemical carbon dioxide. Sound familiar? It should. This chemical is a greenhouse gas that, like other greenhouse gases, adds to the overall heating of the Earth's atmosphere, causing global warming that negatively impacts climates and ecosystems all over the Earth. Now looking at all the people around the world that have tattoos, which in America alone is 42% of the adult population, if 80% of tattoo pigments rely on carbon, that's a lot of greenhouse gases being produced, all for the sake of body art.
But carbon black is actually not the most environmentally harmful chemical in the tattoo process. Scientists have found that the chemical used in tattoo removal, fluoroethane, is an even stronger greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. Also known as norfluorine, tetrafluoroethane is a colorless gas at room temperature with a slight odor that, if inhaled in large amounts, can be toxic and even deadly, as it may displace oxygen and thus cause suffocation. Its chemical name is HFC-134a. Its melting point is at about negative 101 degrees Celsius or negative 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and its boiling point is at about negative 26 degrees Celsius or negative 14 degrees Fahrenheit. When in its liquid form, touching or ingesting tetrafluoroethane can cause frostbite. When pressurized, as it often is in order to transport, heating or puncturing the container may cause an explosion. It is also important that it be disposed of properly and washed off of all skin and clothes after use so as not to cause further problems to the environment or to the person. However, when inhaled in small traces, it is not necessarily toxic, and studies have found that it can be metabolized in about an hour. Tetrafluoroethane can be used as an aerosol propellant and as an anesthetic, and it is also being tested as a replacement for various refrigerants, i.e. chemicals used in refrigerator systems, that use ozone-depleting compounds.
My name is Crash, and I work at Texas Dermographics Tattoo Studio.
What you want to be in it, because we've talked about we've read about several people making their own pigments. You sure they know what's in it? So do you do research, or you just trust the history of the brand?
I trust the history of the brand.
Yeah.
They've been around forever. Everything that they do, they make in a sterile environment. Everyone wears a sterile suit and a mask and gloves and everything. It's all done in a laboratory. So.
Although tetrafluoroethane is not ozone depleting, it is a very strong greenhouse gas. In order to remove tattoos, doctors will use a laser that can cause the skin to heat. To avoid damaging the skin and causing scarring, they will spray the skin with a cooling substance. This makes the process move along faster. In the past, they have used tetrafluoroethane, which cools the skin to about 3 degrees Celsius. But recent studies have found this is a greenhouse gas even more harmful to the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. So, doctors are trying to find different methods of cooling, including a pressurized carbon dioxide spray. Tetrafluoroethane exists almost exclusively in the atmosphere, and as it accumulates there, it will continue to become uniformly distributed around the world because it has a long atmospheric half-life. Calculations suggest that HFC 134A can be purged from the atmosphere within about 16 years before it's broken down by other present compounds. From there, the product would likely be diffused to the troposphere and then deposited back onto the Earth's surface. It does not dissolve efficiently in water, nor is it found extensively in the soil. Since 2001, it has doubled its presence in the atmosphere, and so many tetrafluoroethane products have been banned or more closely regulated. HFC 134A is a greenhouse gas and so does contribute to global warming, but carbon dioxide exists in the atmosphere in a much higher abundance, and so some scientists are not as concerned about its effects. As more information comes out regarding tetrafluoroethane and its role in the ecosystem, hopefully we will be able to better harness its benefits and avoid its harmful effects. Until then, doctors and dermatologists should continue to seek a different form of tattoo removal.
They'll offer like removal referrals or anything like that, or do you know
The
much about the
most that we can
process?
do as far as referrals is tell them to look in that Austin or Dallas.
Okay.
It's the only places that are anywhere close to here. But
I figure y'all don't get a lot of those. I would
no,
just-
and it's a really expensive process to start doing because the machine itself is several $1,000s, and then you have to keep a licensed physician on call, and so you pay them in case anything happens.
Yeah,
So
it's expensive.
yeah.
Yeah, I read up a little bit on like the chemicals they use for that, and just like they use like these freezing chemicals.
There's several different ways, to do it. I mean, I think the most common one now is the laser.
Yeah.
There are some stuff, like, I mean, there's one called, I think, Wrecking Balm that you can get at Walmart.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a terrible process
Yeah.
because it burns the skin and you end up with a gnarly scar. Yeah, it's pretty rough. But I think the laser is from what I've seen, has been the best.
Yeah.
Because it just explodes the ink molecules into the skin and allows the body to pass it. That's why the ink's able to stay, because the molecules are so big that your body can't get rid of them, they just stay. So when you break them down, then it goes away.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So veganism is a trend that has gained prominence in the United States over the past couple of years, even in tattoos. Tattoo ink is made out of more animal products than you would suspect, and tattoos play a pretty big role in agricultural identification.
It looks like we have our first caller. You're live with Davey Wavy in the morning. What's your question?
Hey there, Davey. First time caller, long time listener. I was just wondering if I could kind of figure out more about this whole vegan tattoo thing all those kids are talking about.
Oh yeah, vegan tattoos are blowing up, and it's not just because millennials are talking about them. So, what a lot of people don't realize are that animals are a huge part of tattoo ink. Some black ink used in tattoos is actually called bone black, named after the burnt animal bones used to make the ink. If that's not dark, then I don't know what is. Also, many green inks are called indigotin, named after a special slug killed specifically for the indigotin.
Wow, that's crazy, Davey. I never even realized that a tattoo had so many animal products in it. Is that part of the vegan thing, or is there more to that?
There's a lot more to it, man. So, other than just the ink, it's actually used in the agricultural field a lot more. So, when you have a huge dairy farm, you have so many animals, and you can't really keep track of the tags all the time, so you really have to tattoo them with specific codes. That way you can sometimes even scan it to basically identify the animals and kind of keep track of all of them. So alternative to branding, each animal's tattooed with a specific number used for identification. It kind of helps with dairy farms and slaughterhouses, as I said, but it really helps out the farmhands when dealing with thousands of animals.
That's crazy, Davey. I never even realized that tattoos were so prevalent in the agricultural field, especially now that animals can be so more tattooed than humans. If that's correct, then I might actually reconsider getting a tattoo, simply because the animal ingredients and the well-being of animals and all that, you've made me into a bona fide millennial, Davey.
Oh yeah, you're right. All of these things are worth looking into. Vegan tattoos are becoming more prominent, so if you're looking to get one, ask if they use animal products in the ink, or if they've ever used the animal products in the ink before you decide if you're gonna go vegan. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Davey.
There are countless amounts of diseases associated with tattoos. Tattoos breach the skin and cause potential skin infections. The most dangerous tattoo-related diseases are tetanus, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C. Risks of disease are always associated with tattoos. However, there are certain preventative measures that can be taken to avoid these complications.
Dave, man, I know I'm not allergic to burritos, but check this out. Freaking Ratchet, this
breaking out, man. Can't stop it. I've been putting Benadryl on it all day, and it's still breaking out. And I got this like maybe like 2 days ago, and I thought it was good, but nah, man, it's just like breaking out like crazy.
Man, you seriously need to go check that out. Like, a lot of the times when a tattoo is rashed like that, it can definitely be an allergic reaction. I think you should definitely go to the doctor.
I mean, like, I don't really need to go to the doctor then. Like, I can just like Google it. I don't really feel like doing that whole thing. I mean, tattoos are probably irritated. It's probably irritated, so I'm just gonna go Google it real quick. WebMD kind of got me. That's how I got me my whole life.
All right, man.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, this is way more serious than I thought. Oh, gosh, it's even getting worse. WebMD says that, man, some of the risks associated with tattoos include the red rash, the bumpy skin. Oh, man, I should have Googled this earlier. Since I've had this for about a week, I gotta go to the doctor. Hey, Doc. So I got this tattoo about a week ago, and it's been breaking out ever since. I put Benadryl and stuff on it, but like, it hasn't been working. And I Googled it because I didn't want to come in and be nothing. But it said it can be pretty serious, so I just wanted to check up on it.
Well, thank you very much for coming in, David. Tattoo issues like this can be pretty standard, but it's good chance just to come in and check up just to be sure. It doesn't look like anything too serious.
I'm glad, Doc, I came in. That way I just know now it's not too serious.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. Based on what I'm seeing here, looks like you have a common bacterial skin infection, David. In many situations with a serious tattoo rash like this, I might recommend performing a skin biopsy. That way I can get a better look at the bacteria and see what exactly might be causing the problem. However, since this rash is only about a week old, a basic course of antibiotics will get you back to full health. Like I said, I'm only going to get you started on a basic course of antibiotics, and for the next week I need you to keep close observation on the rash. If it gets any larger after this week of antibiotics, you might need to come back to my office. The only way the rash will get any worse in the situation is if this initial infection is caused by the MRSA bacteria. If you have the MRSA bacteria, then we might need to do a further evaluation of the situation in a week's time.
Oh man, Doc, I'm really glad it's not too life-threatening, so...
Yeah, well, let me just say, David, you're very lucky it wasn't a serious complication with the toe. In some issues, I have needed to perform full surgery to perform the slash because rashes like this can infect the deep tissue. That means that the patients have their infected skin completely removed so the bacteria don't spread any further. This could have happened to you if you didn't come in so quickly, David. Always remember that if you have a constant itching or painful bumps on or around your tattoo, that is most likely the sign of an atypical Mycobacterial T infection. Keep in mind, David, that there are other medical complications that can occur, like with tattoos. Shortly after getting a tattoo, David, your skin may have a negative reaction to pigment particles in the fibrous tissues. If you ever end up getting another tattoo, it will be useful for you to know that the common disease that can occur is called hematomia. This is when a blood vessel is punctured during the procedure and will most likely cause bruising for about 1 week, but isn't problematic long term. One of the most dangerous diseases that can be contracted when getting a tattoo is the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. While there has never been a reported HIV associated with tattoos in the United States, it is still a risk if the tattoo parlor does not follow proper sanitation procedures. Lastly, David, if you want to avoid any major medical complications during the tattoo procedure, then you should get your procedure done at a state-regulated and licensed studio with sterile equipment. Not all tattoo studios follow these mandated safety regulations, and you should do serious research on the establishment you plan on attending before getting your tattoo.
Appreciate it, Doc.
Yeah, anytime,
really
David. Thank you
appreciate
for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Alright, I'm not gonna spread this to you, alright?
I don't know.
When it comes to ecology, however, things get complicated. When it comes to how we human beings see each other, it seems as though tattoos play a large role in every interaction we have with each other, from judging each other to being judged by potential employers.
So my name is Worth Lachlan, and I'm the staff manager at Common Grounds. So I do all the hiring and employment and staffing, manage everybody who works here.
When you're looking into managing staff here, or you do hiring here as well?
Yes, sir. Yes.
When looking to hire, would someone having a tattoo make you less likely to hire them?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Would there be any like face tattoos or anything like extreme of that nature? Would that maybe make you second guess?
I've never personally had someone come in with like a lot of extreme face tattoos or anything like that. But I'm picturing it right now, and I don't think it would. We've had people with, face piercings and stuff like that. And for me, I don't think that physical appearance as far as tattoos, unless it's inappropriate words or pictures, it wouldn't affect my likeliness of hiring them or not.
Would you say that in terms of how we've come, like in the past it was you have to show up in the suit and tie, have your hair done back, all this. Would you say it's changed?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that interviews, all in all, are more informal than ever, and so starting with appearance, we don't expect people we're interviewing to come in a suit or dress slacks or anything like that. We expect them to come in casual wear, what they would wear working here on a normal basis. And we have had people come in suits, but that's just their choice. We don't expect that. And if I was applying and interviewing for a job at Common Grounds, I would wear, what I wear on a normal basis, maybe even wear a baseball cap.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's just, it's a lot more informal process than it has been in the past, for sure. An interview is not as much one person asking another person questions. An interview is a conversation, a dialogue, more so than ever.